So, Rick Scott, a senator from Florida, put out a tweet saying if Joe Biden really thinks Bidenomics is helping Florida families live the American dream, he's more delusional than we feared. The numbers don't lie. And then he put out this graphic. Bidenflation costs Floridians an extra $1,015 a month. Bidenomics is a bad deal for Florida families. Now, I have been watching what is going on in Florida, and I know for a fact that Rick Scott is in the same state that Ron DeSantis is in. Ron DeSantis is picking fights with Disney. He is impeding his own tourist industry. He's running people out that would be fixing houses. He's running teachers out. He's waging a war against books. He's waging a war against minorities with the anti DEI legislation. He's waging a war against the gay community. And they're wondering why there is inflation. There's inflation because of housing, the insurance companies leaving, hurricane season coming, people not picking the crops. But Rick Scott is blaming this on Biden. CBS News just put out an article. Inflation is plunging across the U.S., but not for residents of this southern state. I will let you take a guess which southern state. If you guessed Florida, you are correct. U.S. inflation hits its lowest point since early 2021 as prices ease for gas, groceries, and used cars. Squeezed by painfully high prices for 2 years, Americans, not Floridians, have gained some much needed relief with inflation reaching its lowest point since early 2021, 3% in June, compared with a year earlier, thanks in part to easing prices for gasoline, airline fares, used cars, and groceries. But let's go back to Florida. The reason for Florida's painfully high price boils down to one essential category of spending: housing. Almost 500,000 people moved to the state from July 2021 to July 2022, more than double the number in prior year. But builders weren't keeping up with that influx, pushing Tampa housing prices up 12% in May and 17% in Miami. Housing remains a flashpoint across the U.S., but to be sure, but Floridians are suffering from extreme price pressures beyond the national norm, where housing prices rose 8% in May, still high, but considerably lower than the wallop felt by many in Florida's biggest cities. I already made a video about homeowners insurance being extremely high in Florida and that the insurance companies were leaving Florida. So that is also adding to the cost to homeowners in Florida. Homeowners in Florida are paying about $6,000 a year compared to the national average of $1,700. So is that why, Rick Scott? Maybe that's why. Florida residents are feeling a pinch on their money also because of car insurance rates. And the car insurance rates are about 37% higher than the U.S. average. So maybe instead of all of the culture wars, maybe instead of the finger pointing at Biden, maybe instead of going after wokeness, as you say, they should be focusing on the actual financials and the day to day and the month to month issues that Floridians are actually facing. Their pocketbooks, their bottom line, what's in their bank account, what's not in their bank account. Anyways, y'all jump in the comments. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, share.